what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 3 theory and prediction video after watching episode 7 only one time. Now we gotta expand on the theory that Famous ends up in prison, y'all, with Kanan in Season 1 of OG Power as this season gears up for the grand finale. Now we have even more events that have taken place that makes it even more believable that Famous will in fact be arrested for the murder of Freddie very soon, as I implied in my video saying that Famous is in prison with Kanan in OG Power. I'm going to expound on how Paul and Famous' mother will later come into play and make this happen. I will also break down why Kanan is partly to blame, if not mostly to blame, when all of this inevitably goes down. This video is going to be another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to this channel so y'all can get this fire every day. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Now, after watching episode 7, all the fans of Famous, including myself, got to see Famous evade both death and prison for yet another episode. We even got to see that Kanan still isn't as ruthless as he would ultimately become in OG Power after he steps in to protect Famous and Ronnie in their apartment, in which he could have easily let Ronnie get rid of Famous right then and there. But with that being said, you can't help but notice how eerie the atmosphere feels around Famous every time he has been on screen over the last 2 episodes. You can't help but feel like time is running out for Famous. Somehow, some way, it definitely feels like he won't make it past that season's finale. And with the revelation that Famous' stupid ass never got rid of the gun he killed Famous with, it's looking even more plausible now that Famous goes to prison this season and ends up becoming the Spanish guy who shared a cell with Kanan in episode 6 of OG Power's season 1. We could always get hit with a twist later on and instead Famous ends up dead or something, but because this theory still has legs, I'm going to help it walk, and then hopefully this thing flies, okay? Now, in episode 7, we saw Famous pull out a revolver that he had stashed in the apartment he shared with Kanan. This shows that both Famous and Kanan are very green to the street life. Even though Kanan wants to actually be a part of it and Famous doesn't. By the fact that not only did Famous stupidly not dispose of the gun, making it possible for the police to raid the apartment and find the weapon, but Kanan wasn't even smart enough to ask Famous what he did with the weapon after Famous told him what he did with that weapon. This is something that more experienced people like Rock and Marvin would have asked. Even Ronnie would have asked this. There is a purpose for the writers having Famous not get rid of that weapon. As of now, it's only a matter of time before this revolver comes back into play, because it definitely will. The reason being is because now Famous is back home with his mother. When Famous got home, we seen him take the revolver and stash it in his closet. His closet inside his mother's house. And all of us who are fortunate enough to grow up in the hood with our moms know. Mothers snoop around and find things all the time. Whether it's a gun, or drugs, or that sock or washcloth young boys have been using to bust loads in. It seems like a mother always finds a motherly excuse to invade their kids' privacy and find shit. So we can almost 100% be sure that at some point, Famous's mom will go in his closet and find that weapon. And when she does, all hell will break loose in that house. Famous will be going directly to jail. From what we know so far, nothing gives us an inkling that Famous's mom is the kind of mom to find a gun in her house and not tell the cops. Okay? Especially after he told her he did some bad things while he was gone from her. This would definitely pique her suspicion, leading her to finding the weapon and having Famous arrested on weapons possession. And then Garcia being able to connect Famous to the murder of Freddie easily without having to hear the 411 song yet, because he will have Famous's fingerprints, and will be able to tell that Freddie died from the same gun that Famous got caught with. It's that easy. And now here's a theory within the theory on how the 411 song and the disappearance of Paul may also lead to the arrest of Famous and him still going down for the death of Freddie. We all know for sure that Paul is still alive, either under surveillance by Ronnie's goons in his own apartment, but most likely he's been taken to another location and may even be getting tortured. There's a picture that I've seen of Kanan, and it seems to be him in a warehouse or something, and he got I don't know, I think I remember it being like a brown and kind of yellowish shirt. Maybe, I think, right? I couldn't find the picture for now, but let's keep that in mind. How he gets free, being Paul, is anyone's guess, but when Kanan gets kidnapped, as we know this is going to happen, that may create Paul's opportunity if he is left alone while his babysitters have to leave to go find Kanan with Ronnie. Paul could escape, find the police. He doesn't know Famous is on the outs with Kanan. And he also seen Famous as he was being escorted out of their apartment. So Paul would then point out Ronnie, Kanan, and Famous for removing him from his home and mention the drug deals behind the courier business, with Garcia already on Famous' bumper, and with the feds already watching Kanan on the block, and with Famous already getting caught in, episode 4 with a bag of drug money. We will see the cops get an arrest warrant, which could lead to Kanan's apartment, Rock's house, Lou's bar, and Famous' mother's house getting raided by the feds, leading them to not only find the gun, but discover Famous' confession song, 411. This is definitely a possibility now, since Kanan mentioned having Ronnie keep Paul alive. So ultimately, all that's about to happen is both Kanan and Famous' faults.